Hi and welcome to my channel once again, and in this video a little bit different I suppose this time, because on one of my walks that I do daily I found something a couple of weeks ago, and I'd like to go through what actually happened. Normally, as I said, I go on a walk every day out into the country, and I'm always looking on the ground for various things. And where I go, there's always a lot of flint lying around by the side of the fields. There's quite a lot around here, and there's quite large lumps as well. So partly I'm kind of making sure that I don't trip over this stuff, because some of it is very, very big. But the other thing is, I'm always mindful whilst I walk around the fields that I might find something like a flint arrowhead, or some sort of flint tool of some kind, something that goes back quite a number of years, obviously. And as there's so much around up there, it's kind of easy to imagine that there must be something there in the fields. It's continuously being churned up and by the farmer as he ploughs his field each year, and the big stuff and the small stuff seems to be pushed over to one side near the hedgerows, and that's where I walk. So on this particular day, I was doing my usual walk and looking at the ground, and it was quite a bright sunny day, and I saw something on the ground that just didn't seem to be the usual kind of flint or stone. It just shone a little bit from the sunlight, and I thought, oh, that's unusual, let's pick that up. So I had a look at it, picked it up, had a look at it, and I thought, well, this is interesting. It's got some colour to it. It's got some kind of mauves and blues and gold colour to it as well, some lustre, some iridescent as well. So I kind of thought, well, let's put this in my pocket and I'll have a look at it when I get back home, which is what I did. So when I got home, I washed this stone, cleaned the mud off it and everything, and then kind of had a better look at it. I put it up to the light, and then I realised that this wasn't a stone at all. This was a piece of glass, and this started to get me a little bit more excited, because it just didn't seem to be the kind of broken glass that you might find even around here with, there's kind of can be beer bottles and all sorts of things that are just thrown out. So I kind of was quite excited by what this might be, especially because it had some colour to it, some flecks of different colour. This was a little bit of an unknown to me. So initially, when I looked at this glass, I thought it had some bits and pieces inside the glass itself. I kind of got the impression that there were bits of nature in there, bits of twig or dirt, something that you might imagine you might see when you're looking at a piece of amber that captures insects and things inside the amber itself. And I thought this glass looked as if it was the same. It had captured in some way some bits and pieces inside. And that again made me quite excited, because I thought, well, if there was a process from way back of making glass, maybe if it's done in a very, very rough way, then maybe glass encapsulated bits and pieces from the ground, or however it's made. But after a while, and after cleaning it up a little bit more, I thought, well, no, this isn't right. What's happened here is the mud or bits and pieces had actually worked themselves into the grooves within the glass, and it didn't have that inside. However, there were some air bubbles inside the glass. So again, I thought, well, modern glass doesn't tend to have that. So again, if there's air bubbles inside the glass, maybe this gives it some age. Maybe that's, you know, the process, a part of the process encapsulated some air bubbles. And so it was just a matter really of kind of investigating this a little bit further. So this is the piece that I found, and I think you can see, if I turn it like that, you can see that it's got kind of an iridescent finish to it. Both sides, very, very strange. Some purples in there, some gold colour, and these flecks, if you call them that, are all over. Even on this broken edge here, there's still this kind of mottling going on of colour throughout the whole glass. I'm going to put up, whilst I talk, some other pictures that I've done, some close-ups. I've got a USB microscope, so we can have a look a little bit deeper, but I think actually, whilst I'm showing you this here, you can probably see this at its best, but I'll show you some close-up pictures to give you a better view, I suppose, of the surface. So, being quite excited about this, I started to do a little bit more research. I kind of got an impression that it might be Roman glass, so it may be 2,000 years old, and I found some examples, and I'll post a picture up of what Roman glass might look like. And again, I got excited because I thought, well, this looks a little bit like my piece of glass. And also I wrote to a couple of places. I wrote to the Decorum Heritage, and I also wrote to the Wessex Archaeology Society as well. And both these places have written back to me, and of course when I sent an email to them, I included some pictures. I wasn't expecting too much because, of course, I suspect unless you actually see the object itself, then you probably can't really make a judgment on this glass. But Decorum Heritage came back to me and said, well, it looks like an important piece of glass. I think maybe they were being a bit nice about it, I don't know. But the lady that wrote back to me said that she was no expert on glass, and suggested that maybe I do some further research, and gave me a list of places that I could write to. Wessex Archaeology, again, they went a little bit deeper into the glass and how it can react in the ground over a period of time. You can get from the glass reacting with the ground, as it's buried, with certain elements within the ground, and it can impart this iridescence to the glass. I'm assuming that if this happens, then it must still take quite a number of years for that to happen. And so Wessex Archaeology said, talked about me going to a museum and just taking it along for someone to have a look at. So, well, that's it basically. I'm still excited about this. It's a find. I'm quite interested in pursuing this a little bit further. I'm not too sure where I'm going to take this. I need to do a little bit of research, a bit more research, and find out where I might be able to take this. Of course, under lockdown things are difficult anyway, but I've got a feeling that there could well be a part 2 to this, to give you some more information about what I have found. I have been back to the place. I have had a little bit of a route around. I can't find any more of this, but then it was on the surface. The rest of it may be elsewhere. It may be underground. Who knows? So that's it from me, and I hope to come back with a part 2 at some point with an explanation as to what this might be. Let's hope that it's of a 2,000-year-old piece of Roman vase or bottle or something like that. So that's it from me. So take care, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye for now.